Cenat is one of the biggest streamers on the planet right now. Millions of followers, record-breaking subathons, collaborations with some of the most famous people alive. And somehow in the span of just a few weeks, he managed to collect hate from almost every corner of the internet at the same time. Fellow streamers are mad at him. The charity crowd is mad at him. His own chat was spamming Ls at him. And some of it, not all of it, but some of it he completely brought on himself. So let's go through exactly what happened. Both situations, and whether the hate he's getting is actually deserved. The first situation involves a streamer named Jinxy, and it starts simply enough. Cenat and Jinxy had something planned, a Clash Royale stream, where Jinxy was going to coach Kai on how to play the game, which sounds like straightforward, easy content. Two streamers playing a game together. Nothing complicated. Jinxy showed up. He was ready. He had posted about it. His audience was expecting it. And then the amp house happened. Here's what actually happened. While Jinxy was sitting there waiting to do the planned stream, Kai just got up, put on his IRL gear, and left the room, midstream, with Jinxy still on the call. No real explanation given. No, hey man, something came up. Just gone. And Jinxy, to his credit, handled it with more grace than most people would have. He ended his stream shortly after, told his chat he tried to set up a tournament and didn't know what happened, said goodnight, and left. But the internet saw all of it, and the internet had thoughts. And then his own chat turned on him, which for context almost never happens with Kai. His chat is one of the most loyal and active fan bases in streaming. But this time they weren't having it. The L spam was immediate and overwhelming. And what makes it interesting is that Kai seemed genuinely caught off guard by his own chat reacting that way. He clearly expected his audience to follow him to the IRL content without much pushback. Instead, he got wall-to-wall Ls, which tells you something even his most loyal viewers had a line. And leaving Jinxy midstream was apparently it. After the L spam got bad enough, Kai eventually addressed it. He said he felt bad. He said he was going to make it right. He said he'd still do the Clash Royale stream with Jinxy. And look, the words were fine. The words were actually pretty reasonable. But here's the thing about that response that a lot of people pointed out. He only felt bad after his chat spammed Ls at him. The remorse didn't come from realizing he had left someone hanging. It came from the public reaction to leaving someone hanging. And there's a meaningful difference between those two things. One is accountability. The other is just damage control. And before the Jinxy situation even fully settled, a second controversy landed. This one coming from a completely different direction. Mr. Beast had launched a campaign called Team Water. The concept was straightforward: content creators pool money together to fund clean water access for communities in developing countries. Every dollar raised equals 1 year of clean water for someone who needs it. And in a short amount of time, the campaign had already raised $6.5 million. With contributions coming from some of the biggest names on the internet. YouTube itself donated $2 million. Trainwrecks, XQC, Aiden Ross, Mark Rober. The list of contributors was long and high profile. But there was one name people kept looking for and not finding. Cenat's name was not on the contributor list. And this became a very big deal very quickly, because context matters here. Cenat is not a small creator who might have been overlooked or not reached out to. He is arguably the biggest streamer on Twitch, with millions of subscribers, with a fan base that has collectively given him enormous amounts of money through subscriptions and donations. And Mr. Beast wasn't just posting a general call to action, he was going directly to individual creators. Aiden Ross even publicly said on stream that if Kai donated $40,000, he would match it. The invitation was open. It was public, and Kai still didn't respond. The internet's reaction to Kai not donating was intense, and it was coming from multiple directions at once. People who had supported him through the Jinxy situation were now adding this to their list of grievances. People who were already Team Water supporters saw it as tone deaf. And the general public, who sees Kai begging for subscriptions during subathons on a regular basis, found the irony very hard to ignore. The argument being made was essentially this. Here is someone who regularly asks his audience, regular people with regular jobs, to give him money during subathons. And when asked to contribute to a project that gives clean water to people who are literally dying without it, he didn't respond. Now here's where I want to pump the brakes slightly, because I think it's important to be fair here. Cenat is not obligated to donate to any charity. Nobody is. Having money does not create a legal or moral obligation to give it to a specific cause just because someone asks publicly. The Team Water campaign, as we've covered in other videos, also had its own complicated dynamics around how creators were being asked to donate, with a lot of public pressure and peer pressure tactics involved. So the framing of Kai ignored a charity is slightly more complicated than it first appears. Not donating to something you were publicly pressured into is not the same as being selfish. And this is the key thing, the combination of the Jinxy situation happening at the same time made everything look worse than it might have in isolation. But here's the bigger picture that I think is worth talking about. The Jinxy situation and the Team Water situation are very different on the surface. One is about showing up for a fellow streamer. The other is about charitable giving. But they both point to the same underlying issue, a pattern of Cenat not showing up when it matters, and then only addressing it after the public reaction forces him to. The Jinxy response only came after the L spam. The Team Water situation only became a discussion because people noticed his name wasn't on the list. In both cases, the accountability came after the fact and from external pressure rather than internal reflection. And that pattern, if it continues, is the thing that could genuinely damage his reputation long-term. Not either of these individual incidents in isolation. Here's where I land on all of this. The Jinxy situation, that was a genuine L. Leaving someone midstream who had shown up, waited, and was ready to create content with you is inconsiderate regardless of what else was going on in the AMP house that day. The response only coming after chat pressure makes it worse, not better. The Team Water situation is more complicated. Nobody owes anyone a donation. The pressure tactics around that campaign were real. But the optics of being one of the biggest streamers on the internet and not even publicly acknowledging a campaign that your peers were all participating in when your name is the one everyone noticed missing, that's a PR problem of your own making. Cenat has enough goodwill built up that neither of these situations alone would define his legacy. But patterns have a way of adding up. And right now the pattern is not great.